explain to the kids, like, right, look, you're all playing the ball incorrectly. I keep stopping. Can you make sure when you play the ball you do X, Y, and Z, and then we won't need to keep stopping. He just loves the game. You can often see him on the sidelines actually at Hull FC matches as match commissioner, or at Rovers. He's often down there. But he was Joshua's supervisor when he first started out refereeing. He's just a great guy.
Good stuff. And Women's Rugby League got a shout out as well. I think it's fair to recognise, especially going into a World Cup where we're going to see these girls playing on BBC Two quite a few times, to remember that these are community rugby league players. They are not professional athletes.
Yeah.
Well done to everyone who got a shout out, and everyone who didn't get a shout out who's involved in the community game in rugby league as well. I think that's going to be one of the greatest things, isn't it, from this World Cup? I've been reading a lot of stuff again this week just about how much funding and support has been generated by this Rugby League World Cup to the community game, with all the teams getting new clubhouses, new pitch facilities, all the way down to just people getting tackle pads and balls and that sort of stuff, and bibs even. Just something as simple as giving kids bibs so that they can play one colour against another colour in training. I think it's really going to have a legacy on the community game, this World Cup, which is great to see. Shall we get into some bigger awards?
Yep.
SLP Player of the Year. Alan, do you want to talk us through the previous winners?
Yes. So in 2014, it was Chris Hill.
Can you imagine now, in 2022, Chris Hill winning an award on this podcast?
No. 2014 is a long time ago. 2015, it was Adam Cuthbertson. 2016, Danny Houghton. 2017, Lou Gale. Lou Gale won in 2017. That's even weirder.
It's a lifetime ago.
John Bateman won it in 2018. Jackson Hastings in 2019. Bevan French in 2020. And it was Sam Tompkins in 2021.
Our votes were split this year, probably between the two on paper leading candidates, probably the player of the first half of the season and the player of the second half of the season. Alan, you went for the player of the second half of the season,
which was Brodie Croft. Yeah, I think we've talked a lot about him, really. So yeah, but he was my choice.
Sarah, you went for Croft as well.
Yeah, I think I've already said my opinion of him.
David, you had another departure from yourself, and you went for a Wigan player.
I did. I could have easily voted for Croft because, as I've already said, I think he was terrific. I thought he was the best signing for any side this year. I watched him properly when I went to watch the Salford semi-final game against Huddersfield, and I thought he was terrific. Really, really impressed by him. So I could have easily voted for Croft, but even though I feel quite dirty about it, I voted for Jai Field. I think, when you think about him coming over and getting so badly injured early last year and missing the season, and then to come back, slotting at full back, and he's had a stellar season. I mean, yes, his first half of the season may have been a bit better than his second half of the season, but he's had a stellar season and in a very good side. So yeah, I voted for Jai Field. I think he's had a terrific season.
Yeah, I went Jai Field too. I mean, I've seen every minute of his season, and it's not just been the highlight plays, but the highlight plays are unbelievable. You think back to what are the biggest highlight reel moments from Super League this year? Probably one of them took place on Channel 4, so to a free-to-air audience, and it was Field winning the game in the last minute against Salford was it sort of April time? He backed that up with great performances in the Challenge Cup run. He, like you say, if there was a comeback player of the year, he surely would have won it without any competition. And on top of that, he played a period of the season where he moved into the halfbacks. People recognised rightly, Wellesby played in 2 positions this year. Jay Field played 7 or 8 games in the halves when Cade Cuss got injured after the Challenge Cup final and had to adapt, playing in a different way. People could attack him physically in the line, and he stood up to that. I just think he did anything Wigan needed him to do and more this year. He was outstanding. So I really was hopeful that Jay Field will win SLP Player of the Year. The winner of SLP Player of the Year is Brodie Croft with 47% of the votes. Probably less of a surprise than it would have been if he hadn't won Man of Steel already. But definitely an outstanding performer this year. We've talked a lot about that outstanding performance. A worthy winner, and someone everyone can share in sort of enjoyment of his experience of his year this year.
Yeah.
Croft did win quite comfortably in the end. When I was watching the votes early on, it had been a close race, and it was like one time I'd look at it be Field, one time I'd look at it be Croft. But then in the end, a late flurry, he got almost twice as many votes as Jay Field in the final count. So Field got 26% of the votes. 11 players in total got votes. Shortlisted players, Tuilola here and Jack Wellesby got votes. Non-shortlisted players got votes as well. Ryan Hall, because Dr. Bob doesn't know any other players' names, I think. Johnny Lomax, I think that's a fair shout. Greg Eden, because Rob voted. Fuad Yahar, because Alan Walker voted. Joe Batchelor, I think fair enough. Mikulecki, he got. In fact, Mikulecki got votes in quite a few of the categories. He had an outstanding season, and one Leeds fan thought Reece Martin was the best player in Super League this year as well. I think we have to mention his goal-kicking record again, because that's fantastic, superb. And
yeah,
we'll see if that gets extended in the World Cup. But well done, Brodie Croft.
Yeah, well done.
Second Salford player to win it, which is good for a side like Salford.
But yeah, does that show that when they have a good season, they have a standout player?
Yeah, you look at the Jackson Hastings in 19 and Brodie Croft in 2022, and both of them have just been like impossible to ignore with how well they performed.
Yeah.
It's a bit disappointing actually, isn't it? Because early on, the voting was for players until Luke Gale won it in 2017. It was forwards that were winning it. It wasn't your flashy men. And John Bateman, of course, won it when he didn't win Man of Steel that year as well in 2018. But it's been your star men, your flashy men in more recent times. And fair enough, because they're the men that really we pay to see. Talking about people we pay to see, shall we go through the SLP Dream Team next?
Let's do it.
Yep.
Let's do it.
Sarah, do you want to tell us about the fullback?
Yeah, so at fullback it was Jai Field with 79% of votes. It's his first SLP Dream Team appearance to go along with his first Super League Dream Team pick.
Did anyone go for anyone else at fullback?
No, I don't think so.
No. Alan, do you want to take us through the wingers?
Yes, obviously 2 wingers to choose here. So we had Bevan French with 88% of the vote, unsurprisingly, and Tommy Makinson on the other wing with 39%.
I mean, the surprise is 31 tries in 21 games only gets 88%, but Saints fans are going to Saints fan it, aren't they?
So French makes his second SLP Dream Team in his second position after being the 2020 fullback, an honour he shares with Mahe Fanu, who made it as a centre in 2016 and a winger in 2017. Makinson makes his second SLP Dream Team appearance, the other being in 2019.
David, do you want to go through the centres?
Yeah, for the record, I voted for French and Makinson.
Good point. Rewind a second. Did everyone else go French and Makinson, or did anyone else go French and CO like I did? I just thought CO scored the most tries. It was such a hard decision between Makinson and CO, though. I went for CO.
I think I did as well, actually.
Again, perfectly understandably, I think. In the centres, we had Tim Laffey with 70% and Ricky Litelli with 48%. both making their first SLP Dream Team appearances.
And this is where the SLP Dream Team has the opportunity to correct the ills and failings of the main Dream Team, because Ricky Latelli, clearly... I went for Lafay and Latelli. Did you guys all do the same?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
I think I did as well, actually, Mark.
Sarah,
it might be...
Sarah, do you want to go halfbacks?
Yep, so halfbacks, it was Brodie Croft with 88% and Johnny Lomax with 55%. So Croft, it's his debut season, so his first appearance in the SLP Dream Team, whereas Lomax features for a fourth time.
Alan, do you want to go through... Oh, wait, yeah, sorry. I'm just thinking it's obvious on some of these because I went for what is on the floor. I went for those two. Did anyone go anywhere else in the halfbacks?
No.
I'm not sure that I went Lomax, but I can't remember who I did go for.
You might have gone Smith.
Yes, I think I went Harry Smith because I think he's had a very good season.
Props, Alan.
Yep, so first pick, Mikolaj Olejki with 68% of the vote. Alex Walmsley, unsurprisingly, the other prop at 64%. Obviously, Olejki's debut appearance. Walmsley equals Lomax with his fourth SLP Dream Team pick.
I went for these two. I know a lot of Saints fans will have gone for Ignatius Passy, maybe over Walmsley, but not wanting to be too obvious and picking them both. Were you in that category, David?
No, I think I probably did pick Alex, but I don't think I picked Olejki. I can't remember who else I picked at prop though. Oh, did I?
Probably.
No, I don't think I did actually. Although I thought Passy had a very good season and he was a surprise. He was one of those guys who surprised me by how much better he did than I thought he was going to do.
I thought he might have got an underrated vote because especially because I underrated him so much at the start of the year.
Yeah.
Anything else from Sarah or Al? Did you go any different?
I think I went Olejki and Passy.
I went for Olejki and Walmsley.
To be honest, Passy wasn't far behind these two, and then the other people got basically no votes. I can't even remember who they all were. That's how little they got votes.
You put Chris Satai in there, I know that.
Yes, Chris Hill got quite a few votes actually. Chris Hill, Chris Satai, and David Fafita. So when you got two people who didn't make the playoffs, it's like, yeah. Go on, David. Tell us about the hooker.
Oh, it was nip and tuck, and James Roby won his fourth SLP Dream Team appearance. And like Alex Walmsley, third in a row, he got 43%. He only beat Andy Ackers by one vote.
And that was the second to last vote cast.
Wow.
And the third to last vote cast was for James Roby as well. So with 3 votes before the last 3 votes, Ackers was winning this, and the last person voted for Danny Levi, which I was very pleased with because it meant I didn't have to come up with a tie break. I honestly can't remember, but I think I probably would have gone for Ackers if I'm.
I went for Ackers.
Me too.
I voted for Roby.
There's a surprise.
Well, I could say the same, Sarah.
I'm, I understand why people will have gone for Roby, but what did you rate? What's people rated of Ackers in that performance for England? I thought he was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I thought it was really good. I think that settled the argument for me anyway about who should be starting on Saturday.
Second row, Sarah.
Second row, Liam Farrell with 55% and Chris McQueen with 46%. So Farrell making his third SLP Dream Team and McQueen making his first.
And finally, Alan, loose forward. Did we correct the wrong from the Dream Team or not?
Maybe not. Loose forward, Morgan Knowles won the vote with 39% of the vote. That's his fourth SLP Dream Team pick in a row as loose forward, even though I voted for Cam Smith.
So did I. Yeah.
So did I think.
Let's have a look then. How close was it?
I think I voted for Cam Smith.
Cam Smith got 30% of the vote, so it was a bit of a